Ladies and gentlemen, at the 2026 G7 summit in France, Donald Trump once again became the center of attention. Arriving at a meeting of world leaders, Trump jokingly declared, "I'm the boss," drawing laughter from fellow leaders. But behind the humor was a more significant geopolitical development. For years, Trump had been skeptical about extensive support for Ukraine in its war against Russia. However, this year's G7 summit signaled a noticeable shift. After meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and other leaders, Trump described the discussions as very good and appeared more receptive to Ukraine's argument that recent battlefield gains have strengthened Kyiv's position. The G7 nations ultimately issued a unified statement backing Ukraine and supporting additional sanctions against Russia. This marked an important moment because it showed greater alignment between Trump and America's traditional allies on the issue of Ukraine. European leaders viewed this as a breakthrough after previous disagreements over how to handle the conflict. Reuters. The summit was not only about Ukraine. Leaders also discussed reducing dependence on China for critical minerals, strengthening supply chains, and addressing global economic security challenges. These topics have become increasingly important as competition between major powers intensifies. Another major topic was Iran. Trump defended a preliminary agreement with Iran while warning that the United States could take military action again if Tehran failed to comply with future commitments. This demonstrated that even as the G7 focused on Ukraine, tensions in the Middle East remain a major concern for global stability. What makes this summit significant is that it may represent a turning point in Trump's approach to international affairs. While maintaining his trademark confidence and unconventional style, he showed greater willingness to work with allies on Ukraine and Russia. Whether this change will last remains to be seen, but the message from the G7 was clear. The West wants to maintain pressure on Russia while continuing support for Ukraine. As the war enters another critical phase, the decisions made at this summit could influence not only the future of Ukraine, but also the balance of power across Europe and the wider world.